CREWCast. 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 Give it up for the CREWCast!
Someone's going to get some ASMR biscuit eating.
Oh, yes. Well, this isn't bad at all, actually.
No?
Microphones are quite... Watch me move mine now and cut off completely. So we are both on the camera.
We're both mics are working.
Out angling you. Yeah, okay, cool. Yes, both mics are working.
Hopefully. Anyway.
I still saved it. You were Trash Panda.
Yeah.
Trash Panda for just 1 week, but it was saved.
Yeah, everyone was like, it sounded like you were really far away, and I was like, well, I was really far away from the microphone that was working.
Yeah, so it was picking you up on the camera, and the basic inbuilt camera mic was what I got that sound off.
Oh, right, okay.
So to even get that,
Yeah.
because the internal camera on, this is so boring start to the podcast, but to use a camera, when you put an external mic on it, you have to turn down the internal mic to basically 2 off nothing, so that it doesn't mess up all the gains. So that sound that I pulled Lou out of when he sounded like a trash panda, like he was in a bin, was from the camera mic being 2 off muted.
Yeah.
So in fairness,
It's pretty decent then, because it wasn't that bad at all. Like, considering what we were working with.
I managed to save 80% of the episode.
I know, it was really funny. Mary said she shit herself at one point because she must have turned it up when she was in her car. And a bit where I was talking, and then all of a sudden you said something, and she sounded like you were in her car shouting.
Nothing like a possible road incident to start your day.
Yeah. So you might have also noticed that we're not
in the CREWCast studio.
We're
not in the gym.
We're not. We're somewhere else.
We are in Lou's house.
Yeah, we're in my living room.
There's a dog behind us, a giant hellhound snoring away happily in the kitchen. Somewhere in here is a 3-legged cat.
No, she's hopped out.
Oh, she's gone as well.
Yeah, it's probably best. She'll definitely come and interrupt us.
Yeah, she used to claw too many sofas, so Lou removed one of her front legs, and now she can't do it.
Yeah, she physically can't. She can't balance otherwise. No, to be fair, she still actually can claw if she wants to.
Why does she have 3 legs?
She got hit by a car. This was quite a few years ago. She was maybe like about 4 years old when it happened, so she was young-ish. But it was really bad. She literally got hit by a car. One of her front leg got completely destroyed. Like she dragged it back in. Her back leg was also damaged, but not bad, like just broke some toes.
I remember you telling me this story actually.
She was pretty messed up. But cats are just so tough, and literally like she got stitched up. Came back the next day and was like hopping around the kitchen like nothing.
Just not missing the leg at all.
No, not at all. It's amazing how resilient animals are and how much they just get on with it. And like
the world's just a little more bouncy.
Yeah, well, you've seen her getting around the garden.
Okay. If you stand the wrong side of her, you wouldn't even know.
No, exactly, yeah. And she can jump, scale fences, climb trees, she still catches birds.
And there's us with like a little back twinge.
Yeah.
I can't get off the sofa. It's like, cat's like, missing a leg, dude. Up a fence.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's crazy, isn't it?
We are shit.
We're rubbish.
Although, did you see, Rogan posted something the other week. There's 2 blokes, black guys obviously, because white guys couldn't do this. Yeah. One guy is stood with his arms out, like no hands. He balances another guy on his own head with the other guy's head. So the other guy's on top of him in a t-shirt. So he's doing the splits on his... So man is stood on the bottom. Another man is balancing on his head with his own head, doing the splits in the air, like to give himself seesaw balance. And then they walk up 3 flights of stairs. It's insane.
Can you imagine the headache you'd have after having your head on somebody? Have you ever like bumped heads with somebody?
I know, just knocking noggins, and they balance it just on the top of each other's heads. Let me see if I can find it.
Do you reckon they've both got really flat heads?
Yeah, well, that's what I reckon. Over time, because obviously they haven't just one day woken up and been like, "Can you do a handstand? I want to try something." Like this is circus act style level of skill sets. So I wonder over the years, like if you started as a kid, slowly just balancing stuff on your head. Like I reckon they get those people that walk water buckets back for miles, don't they?
Yeah.
In like Ethiopia and places, and they just walk like there's nothing on their head with the world's best posture. But do you reckon the top of their heads are a little bit flat? Like they just squared them off because they're doing it since kids, and it
it's almost
gets a shelf
grown that way. Yeah, you know when they like grow watermelons in boxes so they come out square.
Here you go. Look. He grabs him. They hold each other up.
Oh my god.
He's got his legs straight in the air, balancing under the guy's head, and then he just does the splits whilst balancing under the guy's heads. They then clap hands and let go. And look, now he's just walking up the stairs with the guy balancing on his head like he's an apple.
What?
They're just walking upstairs like it's nothing. And they're not small men.
No.
Like, that dude must be weighing at least 11 stone on top of him, maybe more. And they're just walking. And other people in the street are walking past like, all right, Joe, you're doing your things again.
How you doing, mate?
How you doing,
Okay.
Dave, up there? Good. I can see your balls, Dave. Your splits are impressive.
I can't, but that runner who went past at first, what a knob. He was literally like, he was that focused on his run. He was like squeezing past this like amazing feat of human ability. Just like, I'm on my run, I've got my best time.
They're just making themselves into a walking human totem pole. And they're still going, by the way. They are still walking upstairs.
They've done a shitload of stairs. Like, most people would just be out of breath normally doing the stairs.
It's so true. And then, like...
Also, spiked railings immediately next to them. That does not look like something you'd want to fucking fall.
Oh, they do. They have a cushion between their heads, and they've both got flat top hairdos. So
I don't know.
I don't know if it was a choice of a flat top, but it's a flat top now.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a dude at the top, a white guy at the top, who's just like, I've never seen anything like that in my life. And the two black guys are like, cool, check this out. Then he lifts him off his head like he's made of polystyrene.
Yeah, he just shoulder presses him.
Then they just drop each other down, and they are slenderly built, muscular dudes who just outshine all of us.
That's pretty impressive.
Honestly, that'll have been on the screen, so you guys will have watched it.
Yeah.
If you weren't watching on Spotify or YouTube, you can go and flick it on Spotify and zoom back, and it'll be there for you.
If you're wondering why you're in my living room as well, I just thought we probably should explain this. Well, there's multiple reasons. One, just a bit of a time crunch. But I was having to wait in for my car being delivered. That wasn't the initial plan. I was actually meant to be collecting my car yesterday.
Yeah.
It was a fabulous...
This is just an inkling. This is what adulting is, and why we should avoid it at all costs.
Do not be an adult ever again.
I'm going to eat biscuits for breakfast whilst you're talking about adult story, because I am balancing this equation.
Yes, there you go,
Biscuits
being a
for
child.
breakfast.
So, as most of you know, giant dog now, right? He's already 40-odd kilos at 6 months old, and he's only getting bigger. So,
He's gorgeous.
we need an estate car to fit him in the boot, because he still just about fits in our hatchback, but it's getting tight for him, and it's not fair on longer drives to kind of make him uncomfortable. So anyway, I feel now old because I'm getting an estate. I was meant to collect the car yesterday. I went to the car store in Coventry, which is about an hour away for me. And they were like, yep, it'll take about an hour. Just sign the paperwork. It was not a finance agreement. It was just a cash thing. So like, we haven't got to wait for anything to be approved. You literally just like send the money over via the link, sign your paperwork. Everything's done. Right, sound. Got there at 10 o'clock. I got home at 8 o'clock last night with no car still.
I can't believe all we got through the day was pictures of you sat in some shit room and just your feet outstretched on the chair that you'd made some massive butt crease in for 8 to 10 hours. How long was it?
So I left the house at 9, got there at 10, and then I didn't leave
till
till it was about 6:30. It was just shit traffic getting back. Took me about an hour and a half to get back.
Wow. So like 8.5 hours of sitting.
Pretty much, yeah. So I literally achieved nothing. I had to cancel all my meetings for the day because I was only meant to be out for an hour. And it was because of HSBC. Basically, there's a link that they send you. You take the payment, takes you to your online banking, you transfer it over. Obviously, it's a car, so it's a good chunk of money, which is not a usual payment. And they said sometimes fraud detection will just like send you a text message to authorise it. Nothing like that. Nothing. So I was like, right, okay. Sometimes it still might just take another hour or something if they're just going slow. So just wait around. And I was like, right, okay, I'll just stick around for a little bit. Still nothing. The money has left my account. I can see on my online banking the money has gone. I was like, right, okay, which is
in the ether.
Yeah, which is also scary because then you're like, okay, now that huge chunk of money not in the bank anymore, but also it's not in their bank. So I was like, where the fuck is it?
Somewhere on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, this is the thing though, that money is no longer money. It is just digital numbers on a screen. Like, they're phasing out even like hard currency now.
I think that's what's strange about like why some people are still really weirded out by Bitcoin and stuff like that and cryptocurrency because
We're already doing it.
We're basically doing it just because we can
Beep from your phone.
Yeah, just because we can, in theory, say, "Oh yeah, can I draw out all of my money?" And they will give you all of your money as pieces of paper. But like, when do we ever do that? We never do it. Especially now. Like, I haven't carried my wallet with me in fucking years. Everything's just my phone.
Yep. A poppy woman came to my door the other day.
Yeah.
And I had to go to the car to find £1 somewhere in the car just to be able to get a poppy.
It's not gonna be long before, because we've got a couple of charity pots at the gym.
On the charity pot.
Yeah. I was gonna say we haven't got that yet, but we need that because
Just it would be on it, like a sensor on the charity thing, always just constantly running, and you just beep.
But anyway, so the money was just floating around in the ether. So I went back to check. I spent 3 hours and 40 minutes on the phone to HSBC over several different calls because they kept telling me, "Nope, we've sent the money. There's no more checks to be done. It has been sent. It's the other bank that's holding it up."
Did they at any point say if you tried switching it on and off again?
They did not say that.
Even
And
if it's
hasn't been paid
pending,
to them.
it will
say
say
and
it's
it was
en
like
route, yeah.
nothing has come through. In no way.
So
it's
you
come
went
through.
in to buy an Audi A4, paid for it, and then came home with a Toyota Aygo.
Or whatever the hell it is. It's not a Toyota Aygo, but yeah. Because I was stranded there. Had no car. Got dropped off there in the morning.
Yeah, it's 'cause
expecting to come back in my car.
HSBC are the
multiple times.
shittest bank. I had them as a student. My student loan was with HSBC, and those other people were with I think they were with NatWest, but NatWest suck now. They're not good, but they used to be good. And I remember being a student, like you live in your overdraft, so you're immediately in debt the moment you start, because any student like grant you get goes straight to like your lodgings and Freshers Week.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, it's spent on basically cheese, bread, and WKDs, but not actual WKDs because they're too expensive. So some rip-off of WKDs that's called something ice. Usually, that's usually a good ripper.
Cool ice or something.
Yeah, and they're just in like luminous colours. I had a mate who, when we were one of the rugby team, he only used to remember what he'd been drinking on that night before because he had such sausage fingers that the bottles of like the Smirnoff-esque bottles would perfectly vacuum onto his fingers because they were so like sausagey. So he would be able to. He would come back from the bar with like 4 bottles on each hand stuck. He would just jam his sausagey fingers into them on the bar and then just walk off like Edward Bottle Hands. And then he would pop one off whilst keeping the others on and drink that with these others on finger reserve. So he would work out what he'd been drinking that night by the colour his tips of his fingers were stained. He'd be like, "Well, it's mostly blues last night." Yeah.
Or if it's
flavour blue,
you can see different rings of different colours. And we're like like when someone's aging
rainbow.
a tree.
That was from Sunday. Now we're on Wednesday.
Yeah,
It literally did. John Shepherd, savage that boy was.
It's an interesting
He's
skill.
still alive. He's not dead. I
Well, he
assume.
might
I hope,
be.
John, if you listen, I don't think
all those
he'd be on.
glowing alcohol drinks, mate,
Yeah.
have radiated him.
He was a proper farmer's boy, like proper farmer lad.
Yeah.
Like spent his youth tossing hay bales. So it was great if he was on your team in a fight.
Yeah, I
'cause he
bet.
just would squish people.
Yeah, pick them up and toss them like a bale of hay.
He was like, you know when you feel that someone's just a couple of iterations away from Neanderthal.
Yeah.
He had that when he went. He went full Neanderthal when he went. You know, when you set him off, you could see his brow would not furrow but grow.
Yeah,
come out.
Yeah.
Just like ooh.
Overhang.
Yeah. yeah. Good hell yeah. He was a big lump. Still is.
He's still alive.
Yeah, not dead.
We think. We assume.
Yeah. He was really funny as well. Quick-witted. Yeah, funny lad. But he was hilarious because he could only... the women he went for, he's one of the original people
I remember you telling
I've
me
ever
about
met. He literally, if a girl walked past, it was if his eyes were... You know, like Cyclops' glasses?
Yeah.
Are like that one long straight rectangle across his eyes. That's like what his eyes saw, but at boob level.
Yeah, just at chest height.
Just boobs. He would only see boobs. So a pig cow could walk past. But if it had some norks on it, he would be like, "Whoa, do you see the boobs on that?" And we'd be like, "What? The female with the beard?" And he honestly would not see anything but the
just
boob.
just push the beard out over the shoulder.
You tag in the Cyclops-esque vision limitations, plus the amount of alcohol that he would consume to the level which would kill normal human beings. Yeah. Some of the things that he brought home.
Oh,
Oh.
I wonder what other stains he had on his fingers.
Oh.
Jesus.
Bruh. Yeah. Yes. Yes. There were some mornings where words would not cover it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did he feel in the mornings, or was he all good?
Didn't give a No, didn't care. No, not a, didn't care. Hilarious. Did not care. He would have. I'm pretty confident if there was a lactating pig within range after a night out, and he was solo.
Yeah, the others were fully gorged.
If they got in the Cyclops vision line, that'd send him off. Because I think that's what it was like Neanderthal, just mechanism, boob, and then the whatever mechanism would begin. Like on Mousetrap, the ball starts rolling.
Yep.
So with him, it'd be like
and
the
the
balls drop a little bit. Yeah, blood starts flowing, brain starts decreasing in level of ability to decipher what's going on.
Yeah, blood flow just rushes.
Blood flow
to the
all
crotch.
goes down, and then he wakes up. Yeah. With whatever's surrounding him.
Yeah. Whatever is pregnant now.
Yes. Okay.
Good.
And that's how they made the Hills Have Eyes movies.
Just his offspring. They gathered them all up.
I watched that again recently, I
haven't seen that in
diabolic.
such a long time.
It's but in those movies, the thing that bugs me, there always has to be like a sexual assault scene. Always has to be one.
Yeah.
And just like, you don't really need it in there.
Oh, you have that one, mate.
I've had about 6.
That's all right.
No, you have
Put
it.
your breakfast in it.
My rich tea breakfast.
You're a growing
rich
lad.
teas. Do you know if you get these are a great diet tool, rich tea biscuits, because they're only 5 carbs per biscuit and like 0.8 fat, so they're really easy to fit in your macros. But then now they don't do it anymore, but they used to do a Philadelphia Cadbury's spread. So it was chocolate spread, but by Philadelphia. So it was a cream cheese chocolate spread, which sounds wrong, but it was delicious. But because it was light, you could put that on top of your rich tea, and you'd have like a treat. You could have 3 or 4 of those for roughly about 25 grams of carb or something, and like 6 fat.
That's good.
Well, it's about nom. Yeah.
That's what Emma
macro
has them
days.
for, because Emma's tracking all the macros at the moment.
Is she getting gains?
Yeah, she is. She's actually working with one of our coaches, because she's for the majority of her life she's competed in athletics. She's sprinted, jumped, and that's always been the thing that she's been really passionate about. And she only lifted basically to accompany the track stuff, because you do need some strength and conditioning work to make sure your joints are all good, to make sure you're strong enough to handle everything, basically. But she never enjoyed lifting. It was always just the accessory to getting her to jump and run faster.
I've fully crumbed up your sofa here, mate.
Yeah, that's all right, mate. So she basically, since a lot of her friends now, they've kind of moved on. They're not going to athletics anymore. So it's taken away a big part of the entertainment of going to athletics. So she's like, I need to find something else to kind of get into. And I just partnered her up with one of our coaches Abby, our coach, she does a lot more bodybuilding style training. And she's now working with Emma. She's PTing her and doing her nutrition, because Emma is the typical person who's just like, I never gain weight. I eat all the time. And I was like, do you fuck? You do not eat all the time.
You eat like one big day and then 4 days of nibbles.
Yeah, that's literally
This is a common problem.
Yeah, and so I don't know exactly what Emma weighs, but she's about 60 kilos ish.
Well, no, that's how tall. She's quite tall.
She's 5'9". And 60 kilos. She's tall and slim. She always has been, and that's just genetically how she is. But she always says, I've never been able to gain any weight, blah, blah, blah. So she started tracking her macros. And to be fair, she had a couple of days where she was at like 2,300 calories, but then she also had a few days where she was at 1,000 calories. And it was like, okay, and there was plenty of those days. And the one thing as well, I think most women are like it, where they're always cold. Emma's the epitome of, I'm always cold. Now she's actually eating consistent amount of calories. She's warm all the time. She's just not getting enough calories in. It doesn't solve all problems, but she
most times, if people feel cold or shivery, it's because their blood sugar levels have dropped, and so like electrolytes are all out of balance as well. Usually, so they've not taken enough. If you're having a bad trip or a bad time, if you've had a little bit of with a bit of cannabis. Yeah. Often it's because if you haven't eaten enough before, your blood sugar levels all go off, and then you start to feel really exposed, and then obviously that can create panics and things. Yeah. So food often helps reset that, because a lot of people would think that eating food brings people out of like the high or the trip. It doesn't. It just rebalances you, so makes you leveled off. Yeah. Fun. So that's true.
Yeah.
I'm always bloody hot now, and
Yeah.
I am eating quite a bit more, and I can't cool down at night. I swear.
Yeah, and especially at the night, because Emma now gets to the end of the day and she's like, "Oh, I've not got enough carbs in today," so then she'll just be able to knock back a few rich teas because the fat's so low in them as well. Because to be fair, the fat is the one thing that she struggles with, and she keeps having fucking avocado every day, and I'm like, look, if you're struggling to get your fats in, you don't eat avocado every single day. Yeah, no, but it's keeping the fat down.
Oh, she's going too high.
Yeah. She keeps overshooting on the fats, and then like come the end of the day.
That's all right if you pull in the car. All you do is just substitute your fat for your carb. Happy days.
Yeah, she's trying to keep it as close as possible to what she needs. But anyway, yeah. So she's had some biscuits at the end of the day just to grab some extra carbs.
How good is that though? To feel like you're on a diet and your end day plate is like biscuits.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you got. So this is what people don't understand is as long as you get 80% in of like whole foods and stuff, you can have. You can be as strict as you want to be, but you can have up to like 20% of kind of processed or lazier foods in there.
Yeah,
you can still have 80% to cover your macros and all that stuff.
Yeah. And I think that does depend as well on the total amount of calories that you've got in. Like if the higher your calories go in total,
you're going to need some shit in there.
Yeah, you need some shit in there, and also it's easier to get all your micronutrients in because say you're eating 4,000 calories a day. You'll be able to get all your micronutrients in within 2,000 calories easily. Yeah. So I'm not saying the other 50% should be purely shit.
No.
But
it can be higher impact.
You don't have to worry about getting,
and you'll feel less shit when you do eat the shit if you've already got the whole stuff in. Whole stuff should always be a focus.
Yeah, that should be the priority.
Especially in the morning.
Whatever you've got left over.
Yeah.
Then you can have a little bit of fun with it. So anyway, I can't even remember if we wrapped it up, but yeah, the car has now been delivered.
It just got dropped off, literally. It's
just before we started.
I looked out and it's blind shut. But yeah, behind us, so it's outside there. It's an Audi A4 and it's nice.
It's really smart, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I really like the digital dash.
Digi-dash in it and everything going on.
And it's got bloody wireless charger. I didn't even realise.
That's the best bit.
You put your phone down and it fucking charges it for you. I'm like, oh, this is amazing.
How did you not spot that? I love though finding new stuff. Like I found that in my Merc. I didn't know it had CarPlay in it, which is the big thing.
Yeah.
And so because I assumed I didn't know that CarPlay didn't work off hooking up through your Bluetooth. So I hooked up through Bluetooth and was like, oh, it doesn't work. And then I was just like watching some nerd videos on the interiors of the Merc to get some ideas for some things I wanted to do. And then it went, if you've got the CarPlay feature, you'll notice here on your second USB, there's a little logo. And I went, logo? USB? Literally ran down the stairs, out the front door, no shoes on, straight into the car, dived in. Nobody is in the house at this point other than me. I'm home alone. So I get in the car, I whip open the glove box, and there it is. The almighty Halo'd second USB with the little plug and play logo on it. Plug my phone in, CarPlay pops up on the screen. Now I've got like it's changed from the crappy Merc thing or whatever that you get it straight to you. Looks like my phone is on the screen. You've never seen a happier full-grown adult in your life. I immediately started ringing people. Guess where I'm ringing you from?
Yeah.
My car! And they're like, yeah, we've been able to do that for years, Lex. I'm like, you don't understand. It's through Apple Play.
Yeah.
CarPlay.
Yeah, because I've got CarPlay in the Seat and I've literally never used it.
That's because you crap droid.
But it still connects. It just puts your phone up there.
Yeah, but
I can't remember why I didn't like it.
Because it's super confusing and not... you see, the thing is...
Because it's modular and everything's like it's basically all just apps. You can't have
with
widgets
Apple.
And shit.
They don't allow you to fuck with anything. Like it works on their framework, so everything is everything is line. Whereas Android is so hackable. Like everything is slightly different and confused. That's why there's so many subfolders and all that crap. Whereas Apple are like, nah, you want to build something, you build it on our framework, and then it all sorts of like a lovely little.
I like the freedom. I like the freedom. I like the
confinement.
Yeah. Again, it's each to their own. Yeah, it does, and I can't actually. I know I take the piss, and you're obviously going to take the piss out of Android, but like. I do think that Apple is brilliant for a lot of people, especially people that aren't techie. It's 100% a better option for people that aren't techie.
My mum is, after we switched her off Android, she never rings me with questions about phones anymore.
Yeah, no, you don't need to, because it just works. It does work.
She just lose stuff on her phone all the time.
Yeah.
How do I get to this? How do I get to that? And I'd be like, I'd even get confused with it. But I was the guy I was anti-Apple for so many years, because when you look at the specs of anything Apple compared to like an Android, it shouldn't be better.
Oh yeah, it'd be like a 13 megapixel camera against 130
well, not even
or
that,
something
like the processor speeds or the RAM if you're looking at laptops and stuff like that. But phones, processor speed, memory, and all that. It shouldn't be better, but it always is
yeah.
because it's the same equivalent of 6 litre V8 American muscle car versus 2-litre turbocharged Jap car.
Yeah.
The Apple is the Japanese car.
Yeah.
They only need the 2 litres because all of that 2 litres is used. And it's
perfectly.
tuned. Whereas the Yanks just go, make it bigger, it'll go faster.
Yeah.
That's Android.
Yeah. I think as well that
Because then to
variety.
tune that huge engine, now you've got to bring in so many components from so many other partners that all have to work together, and one of them doesn't work, none of it fucking works. And that's what I found, because I had, again, this is when I was anti-Apple, I went and got like an MSI laptop, which was like the sickest one at the time, slimline, full gaming laptop, had like a 64 gigamegabyte graphics card in it, like all separate things, fucking cooling, like flashy lights everywhere. Would that fucker run an editing program? It couldn't have been more laggy. It couldn't have crashed more.
Really?
It would. When I switch, and I'm not exaggerating here, so I had that laptop for a year, and I was using it. It would constantly hang and crash, and the video would constantly need upgrading and updating. And when that updated, nothing else would fucking work for like a week until they'd all upgraded to match the new fucking update. When I switched to a MacBook Pro, which was technically 2/3 of the power of this thing, I reduced my editing time by a full day.
Yeah.
A full day. I can't, it was like that holy grail moment of me just working,
doing
and
it.
it was just flowing, and nothing hung and nothing crashed. There was no waiting for processing or any of this stuff. And I was just like, what the fuck? I've wasted 3 years on these fucking other Dells, and built myself up from a Dell to this MSI and all custom. Fuck no, just do the Apple.
I think definitely again with
With anything to do with
and stuff
editing
like that,
and stuff like
brilliant.
that. Don't get me wrong, there's shit for gaming, but not game on my laptop.
Yeah, I suppose it
I
depends
have
on
a
what you want.
PlayStation for that. Also, fuck all you PC guys with your stupid gaming. Just buy a PlayStation. Stop making it faffy.
But
everybody just get on a goddamn game console.
I don't know though. There's something about the freedom of having a PC because they can do all modding and stuff like that. And I know they're starting to have modding on some games, like on consoles. But
Bethesda have mods you can build in on like Skyrim.
But it's the fact that obviously because it's on a PC, they can literally be built to handle way higher specs.
Yeah, actually, you can custom build, upgrade them. I know
upgrade
that, but still,
to a point that would even
still,
the
screw
latest
all you
console.
guys. Still, I don't hate your PC.
I've always wanted.
So I'm like,
to
oh,
have
you
a
want to play
PC.
this? What have you got? And like PC, I'm like, well,
I just don't understand why cross
they
compatibility
are
is
starting
not.
to cross them over now.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot more, but I don't understand why cross compatibility is not just a standard feature and should have been for a long time.
Because nerds. That's why. I reckon it was one of those where it's like a little bit of this stigma. If you were a PC gamer and then you were on a PlayStation or something, people would be like a bit off with you.
Yeah, I remember there was, what was the game? There was one on, it was old, it was like the Xbox 360. I can't remember the name of the game, and it was like, it was kind of a similar setup to like, or it played very similar to like Halo or something like that. But there was magic powers as well, and that was cross-compatible, so Xbox could play with PC, and you could always tell who was who.
Half-Life?
No, it wasn't Half-Life. It was like, it was only online. There was no story mode. It was only an online
I won't know that.
platform kind of.
I only like the campaigns.
There was like a campaign that you would go through online, but there was never weird missions. It was always just like kill the other team.
Yeah.
But
See them, get them.
yeah, but you could always tell because anyone who was on PC, their shooting was just next level because they had a mouse, so they literally put the cursor exactly where they want it, shoot, you're dead. It's not like you mess around with joysticks.
They were too fast.
But they couldn't maneuver very well because they had fucking keys, so they'd be like scrolling sideways and then forward and back.
So you basically you were fighting accurate crabs.
Yeah, pretty much. But then you were like really like mobile, but your shooting wasn't as good. So yeah, it was like you kind of picking what you wanted. But that was like the technology was there, fucking 12 or 15 years ago. I don't understand how it's still not like.
That's just
not standard.
So I started playing Assassin's Creed. Anyone who doesn't game now is so bored. But I played this. I've got Assassin's Creed Origins is now on the PlayStation Store, and if you pay for premium, you like get all these extra for people that know. You get like you pay £100 a year. Bearing in mind, like a single game now costs £80.
Fucking hell,
mate. The new Call of Duty that just got released was £80 to buy for a digital download. As a digital download.
It's every generation they stick like another 10
Well, it's
quid on.
because
Or something.
the game's like 50 quid, but then if you want the game with the shit that matters for you to go in and game, especially with something like Call of Duty where you've got to go, everyone's going to have these other bits with them already.
Yeah, it's like you get a load of extra guns.
Yeah,
and it's
you
just
start
like,
with
do
like
this
an
and you
ammo.
get double XP or something like that.
Yeah, and you get some extra crates and stuff when you start, whatever it is. 80 quid. So bearing that in mind, it's like 100 quid for the year, but there is a full games catalogue on it, which is just there all the time, and that they add to every month. And it's got all the Assassin's Creed games on it. And you just download them and play them. That's it. And then when you're done, you just delete them off your hard drive. And there's loads on there. There's tons. And so they have loads. They have like classic catalogues, mainstream catalogues. Basically, if there's like a new FIFA coming out, the old one gets put on it.
Yeah.
And they're still, if you were to go and buy them, it's like 50 quid on the PlayStation Store.
It is good. It's well worth doing stuff like that.
I started playing Assassin's Creed again because of it. And I started playing Origins. Hands down the best one in the freaking thing. It's like, it's where you're in Egypt and you're Bayek.
Yeah.
It's massive. You're riding through deserts, you're climbing pyramids.
What's the cities like in terms of, because obviously parkour's a big part of it. So
The best one was when you were Altea and you were in Rome. Hands down. Like, for the parkour one.
Yeah.
I think that's the second or third.
Or is that Brotherhood?
No, that's way down the line. Brotherhood's where you were able to call in like people to come and help you assassinate stuff. That was actually
Right.
really cool.
Yeah.
But there's one where you're in Rome. I think it's number 2, and it's 2 or 3. It doesn't matter. Anyway, that's really
Altair
good.
is the first one, isn't he?
Altair is like
and then it's
you start
Ezio.
with him. With Altair, then it's Ezio. Ezio in Rome.
Yeah.
Yes, Ezio's like my favourite character.
Yeah.
So you stick with him for about 3 games, 2 or 3 games, and then eventually they'll die because it's through time. So you get to the end of their lives, whatever. But Origins, you're Bayek and you're running through Egypt, and it's fucking stunning. And you're playing this game, and they've remastered it now for PlayStation 5. So it's all like the scenery and some of the graphics, some of the movements and all that have been updated to fit PS5. They've actually modded it to make it more up to date. It's fucking stunning. And then, so I was like, oh, right, I'm going to go play Valhalla again because I've got it. And I just put it down, stopped playing it.
Yeah.
Picked it back up. It looks worse than Origins.
Yeah. Have you seen? There's another game that's like that. The Batman Gotham Knights.
Yeah, the Arkham series thing.
Yeah. So the latest one, and you've got multiple characters to play as, and there's literally like, I watched a video, and somebody's got like shot by shot of the game
Side by side.
Yeah. And they've got Gotham Knights, which came out a week ago, something like that.
You can play as like Robin and all these things.
Yeah, and then the latest, the last one, which is about 8 years old. Way better, not slightly better, way better graphics.
They're just
all the animations are better. Like in terms of like when you jump into your car, when the car turns up. Like in the new one, it just appears. It just like they're just lazy. Yeah, they're just lazy, and they've literally downscaled all the graphics.
It's chocolate bars all over again.
Oh,
Have you seen the size of a Mars bar?
I know, piss take.
I thought it was a mini.
Prices are going up.
I thought it was a mini. They want it.
Before you know it, see them biscuits, they're going to be this fucking big.
They'll be macaroons, macaroon size, and then everyone will be like, it's just because you got bigger. Are we giants?
Yeah.
Because if I'm a giant, I'm a shit giant.
Yeah.
We've been screwed on the giantism.
I know.
Buggers. Yeah, that really tipped me off. It was this big. I was like, a Mars ice cream is bigger than this now. What you need is more chunky people in charge.
Exactly, they'd be generous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They'd be like,
bigger
"We need more
portions."
I wonder what American Mars bars are like.
I bet they're fucking
I bet they're
huge.
still massive because Americans would kick off.
Yeah.
Imagine if you took
Because we
over.
don't say anything. If you look at all the gram sizes, and they're like, it'll be like 273 grams. They're like, taking a couple of grams.
5% stuff every year.
Just so we don't notice.
Yeah.
There's no other reason why they're going to have these weird sizes. They just have a round number, wouldn't they?
I reckon they get a load of people in a room and then give them a load of percentagely reduced sizes, and where they notice it, they go one up from that.
Yeah. And then they leave that for a year, so everyone acclimatises to the small
What we need is all the fatties to unite and all the skinnies to unite together, so that when the skinnies get invited to the Mars bar munching, they deny it and pass the invitation on to a fatty.
Is Mars owned by Cadbury?
I don't know, but did you hear that horrible thing about Nestle? No. About the breast milk thing?
No.
Bro, why? I don't know why anybody's not hearing about this. Right, so...
There is breast milk...
Boobies and milk incoming story, and I'm going to truncate it so it's not as long as it is. Basically, in olden days, when you had a kid, they would, if you were struggling, to whatever, they take the baby off, and the baby would be kept in a different part of the hospital to where you
So
were.
if you're struggling to breastfeed, is this?
Just out of the birth, yeah, if you were like a bit weary or whatever.
Oh, right, okay,
you know what
so
I mean?
like immediately.
They would have a milk, they were called milkmaids, I think. We'll call them the milkers, right? So, but what it turned out was, right, Nestle had a deal with the hospitals. So the nurseries where the babies were kept were far enough away from the mother that they needed feeding at times when the mother baby couldn't be brought to the mother. So, and the mother was told, it's okay, we've got the milkmaids in there who are going to feed your baby. So they would give them the powdered milk, Nestle's powdered milk for babies. But what they would do is keep the babies far enough away from the mothers so that the mothers would miss enough breastfeeding to dry up. So then the babies would have to be given the formula because the mother had dried up. And when they figured this out, and it turns out Nestle were in with the hospitals, they actually got involved with the way the hospitals started to be built, and the nurseries got further and further away from the mothers. So more and more mothers would dry out, and more mothers would have to take the baby formula.
Fucking hell.
They got busted on this, right? And it's come out recently, within the last, I think it's 2 months this has come out, and it's probably known about before, but for whatever reason we've not heard about it. This is how much of an asshole. So bearing in mind, like Nestle Crunch, good chocolate bar. Like, I go to France, what do I buy? Nestle Crunch.
Yeah.
Yum. Big one. Family one, in fact. Buy family one, eat for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck the family.
Yep, I'm giving Nestle family money for single portions. So I'm supporting the evil because they went, once they couldn't do it anymore in these, it was either America or here. Probably, I don't know. I have to look that one up, so don't know where. They went to third world countries, right? So they started doing the same scheme, providing the mothers with the formula whilst they were there for nothing. But then afterwards, because they dried up, the mothers would have to buy the formula. Yeah. They can't even buy food. These people are not making money. So what did they do? They would buy the whatever they could afford, but then they were obviously watering it down to make it last longer for the kid because they got no nutritional education. Yeah. So basically, kids became malnourished. Yeah. Tens of thousands, I believe, at least thousands, died from malnourishment because of this feat that went under, and it was all Nestle. Yeah. All Nestle, the evil Nestle people. But how they literally designed the hospitals to dry out mothers.
Jesus Christ.
If you can look at this, all came out, and yet Nestle are still. So it's like, evil company doing evil things to make money in any way. They already got screwed over in one place and just shifted the mechanism somewhere else. But
it's even worse over there.
But Nestle Crunch. I mean, I don't know if that balances it. It's a pretty damn good chocolate bar.
Maybe.
I mean, if it's made with the same formula milk as what they were giving the babies, then I don't blame the babies.
That they just preferred
They were like, oh, no boob for me. Bring me that lovely...
I think it just shows the...
Nestle Crunch base.
The disconnect between, like, gigantic...
It's sick. It's sick. It's sickening. Yeah. The fact that somebody actually went through and designed that as a business model.
Do you reckon it started off, they didn't go in with that intention? Because that seems like, kind of, like, how would you work that plan out? It'd be like, it started, and we're like, we've noticed a pattern here. Yeah. We've had a few mothers that have dried up. I wonder why they're drying up. And then they're like, all right, okay, maybe we
because
can
they then went
encourage it.
I think they part-owned these buildings or something. They were literally involved with the way it was designed.
Yeah, they were like, I don't know, maybe they'd sponsor or give the hospitals a certain amount of money to like set something up in a certain way.
Yep.
Jesus.
But all these companies do these horrific things you don't hear about. And then we just but they make a good chucky bar. Nom, 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 nom.
Yeah, I'm going to just pivot a little bit from this.
with it.
I don't know.
Nice
I'm just
bum
covering
shot.
what...
Are you showing that to the camera?
Yeah. I'm just going to cover some bits there.
Oh, yeah, cover your address. You're just showing them the face.
See this?
You can
see this. And firstly, look at me with short hair.
So what you're looking at is Lewis's driving licence.
See that? Right.
Oh yeah. So if you're not watching on Spotify, he's showing the camera that he now has a motorbike symbol on his driving license because Lou passed his test.
Pass me fucking this!
Yeah. But I don't know why we didn't start the freaking podcast with that. We went through some financial story, and the whole time you passed your test.
Yeah.
I rode here on a new bike none of you know about yet as well.
Yeah.
So I get, it was a glorious ride. So you'll find out about that. But we have yet to figure out how to get Lou's bike from my garage to here.
Yeah,
This is the challenge.
we might be able to do it later on, depending on.
Well,
what
it gets
it's
dark,
looking and
pitch
time-wise.
dark now by 5 p.m.
Yeah.
So you have until roughly,
Yeah,
I mean,
almost 2.
we'll be done in 15 minutes. So 2 o'clock, you get back to mine.
It's like 40
You'd
minutes,
have to ride
50 minutes.
bitch on mine,
Yeah.
screaming. For
I'm
45
really,
minutes.
I'm really nervous about doing that. If I'm honest, have you ever been at a pillion?
Yes, but on a big GS,
Yeah.
where you sit back, you basically got your own recliner on the back.
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous.
I was a
about
passenger on a GS
Yeah.
in France after I'd crashed my bike at 60 miles an hour
Yeah.
and had a dodgy knee, and then we dropped my bike off, which was held together at that point by bungee cords and duct tape for the final evening. So I hopped onto my buddy's bike who I was riding with to go get some food in town, and as we were going along, a deer ran out in front of us when we were doing 60 miles an hour on the same day I'd come off my bike, and full ABS kicked in and everything, and I was just like, I was laughing so hard because it was so ridiculous.
Did your head clonk into the back of theirs? Like,
Yeah, it was the whole bike went dum, and this deer was just like, ah, shit, and then carried on.
Yeah.
Like nothing. And Mark just stood there like we like in silence, like the bike was just, you're in the middle of the road and no one says anything for like a good 5 seconds, but I was like, you couldn't write it. You couldn't write. He's like, I don't understand what's going on.
why does God hate
Let's just
us?
get to a burger or pizza of some kind and settle this day down because it's all going wrong.
Oh well, anyway, let's fucking hope anything like that doesn't happen. But yeah, so we
Oh no, the bike stayed fully up. It did the job. We didn't crash anything.
yeah. But either way, it's still
It was just like
I'd
on the
rather not
same
shit
day,
myself, to be
a deer
honest.
ran out, and we were bearing in mind when you're in like the north of France. There's nothing for miles upon miles. There's points where you're riding and you're like, if we break down here, we dead. Like it's impressively freeing.
Yeah.
But also you just like, please don't run out of fuel or break down because there is not even animals around. It's just as far as you can see, just fields,
Nothing.
and birds,
Yeah.
but nothing of use. Yeah. Yeah, so this deer running out of this like one bush at the side of
the only deer for
it was
100 miles.
It was waiting,
Yeah.
and the other deer were like baiting it. Like, I bet you wouldn't dare do it, would you? Like Doey the deer, and Doey's like, "I'll show you guys."
I'll shit them up. Yeah, so we just got to work out the logistics of getting it back to mine because if you remember the other day when we spoke about it, there was obviously a few issues that we had with the bike, which are all resolved. But we just got it back to your house, and then it's just left there. So it's only, I don't know, it's like 15 mile away or something like that.
20
mile.
20 something miles away.
So it's not far.
Wiggly roads, good wiggly roads as well today. It's
Yeah,
dry.
exactly. It's nice. So it'd be great if we could get out on it and I can actually like have my first go on my bike because I passed on Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah, I passed
2
on
days,
Tuesday.
3 days ago.
So, and I'm really itching to get out
Yeah.
and ride.
Well, we went out yesterday. You were supposed to be coming out with us, but you decided to sit in an office for 8 hours
Yeah, exactly. That was
Trying to-
another fabulous fucking choice.
and negotiating an A4 for a Toyota Aygo.
Yeah, I got spanked on that negotiation.
I tried haggling. I don't know what went wrong.
Yeah.
And but it was a good job we didn't come out because we left Shropshire and we're like, look at this. It's like a little cloudy, nice, but we've got the jackets on. It's quite nice to be able to wear your jacket and be warm in your jacket rather than be like sweltering.
Yeah.
So we left Shropshire and we got into Wales and we went a little different way than normal to try and find some new little tracks. Found a lovely little cafe. Had a chat with some of the bikers there about going to Scotland next year. And we're like, that's a good start today, this. And we ventured further into Wales to get this viewpoint where you look over the entire... If you've been on my Instagram, I put the picture up of it. And you look over the entire valley from when you get to this viewpoint. But as we entered Wales, it started to get not just like weathery, but eerie. Like there was mists over the tops of all the mountains, which then like merged with the grey cloud that you could see for as long as the eyes could muster it. And then we got hit with gale force winds. So as we're riding, so we're all calmed up so you can speak to each other whilst you're riding. All you can hear as someone goes around the corner is, "What? Jesus bloody hell!" Like, and all it felt like as you go around the corner, someone's just going, boom, and put like someone's shoving, like, come on then, as you go around the corner. It's the most obscure feeling. So we're on these bikes to ride straight down this one road because it's in Wales. It's a bit like the not as bad as Frenchy thing, but there are bits where it's just you're like, oh, nobody lives here. Like Wales is just so expansive, but it's very hilly. So there's just massive parts where it's just like low stone walls and just woof, long roads for as far as you can see, but very open. So when we hit those bits, we were going down this long undulating straight our bikes must have been leaning at about 20 degrees to keep us just going straight forwards because we had to lean into the wind. It felt like you were riding on a cushion. It was really weird. But then you knew if you were going to go round a right turn, it was going to push you into the other side of the road. So you had to kind of counter to do a right turn, to not turn too right. So basically all you had to do to go right was straighten up.
Yeah. Try to go straight.
And then a little bit of a lean to get it round. But yeah, it was bizarre. So, and then, and on top of that, it was like this. Have you ever seen the movie The Fog? Like an old school, if you haven't watched it, it's an old school, terribly brilliant horror movie called The Fog, which this fog just takes over towns, and from the fog, pirates come and get you.
Isn't it based on a Stephen King film?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, which are always done terribly, but they never translate well to the screen. I don't know why.
No.
Well, mate, Stephen King's books always have crap endings. That's why. He can write 99% of a book. His endings always suck.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of one that I actually really enjoyed, but...
What's The Thing?
No, it's not.
Is that not him?
No, that's not him. I think you're probably... Because that's a Stanley
Kubrick thing or whatever it's called.
So he did The Shining, but also did The Thing.
Yeah.
But not
No, so with Stephen King's always have a crap ending like aliens or just some shit giant monster. Like There's one twisted ending that he does where there's those like The Mist. Was it called The Mist or something? And it's like aliens coming. They've got really really long legs. These giant things that are walking through, and they like.
Ring a bell.
Yeah, the ending on that is pretty screwed, which I liked. I think that was one of his good endings because it's a twist on it.
He's done one called...
But it's a really sad, horrible twist.
He's done one called Cell as well. That was quite a good ending. It's not what you initially think at all. There's some bits in that are just fucked. I remember there's one bit, it's so abrupt. Like, most people aren't ever going to watch... Well, I think they might have made it into a TV series, or they're never going to read the book.
What's it called?
Cell.
Well, as in like
like a cell phone. CELL. And you've got like the main character, he meets this other character who's like the secondary character. They're going through the whole fucking thing, hours and hours into the book. They're just walking down the road at this one point.
Is this a spoiler?
Yeah, but I don't care. Literally, they're just walking down the road. Car drives past. Someone throws a brick out the car, caves the woman's head in. She's dead. And you're like, what?
That's it.
What?
End of the movie?
No, it carries up. There's more to it, but she literally just... Well, she's...
wipe out the secondary character?
Yeah, literally out of the blue, like literally, it's like a post-apocalyptic world. See, they're wary of other people. Someone's driving past, chucks like a breeze blocker out the window, smashes her face in, kills her. And you're like, what the fuck? Yeah,
that's not so fun.
Yeah, wasn't expecting anything like that. I just remember, like, that's probably one of the only times I've been reading a book and my stomach dropped, and I was like, oh, what? Because I was like, oh no, she's got to be okay.
What did I watch the other day? Something like that. It had Ryan Gosling in it. He's like a stunt bike rider or something.
Place Beyond the Pines.
Yeah, how do you remember that?
Because it's a really good film. Yeah,
yeah, and I wasn't ready for what happens midway through that film.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper and
yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I skipped a little bit of the middle section once Gosling was gone. I was like, oh, because this is when Bradley Cooper isn't cool. Like, to be honest, the only time Bradley Cooper is actually good and watchable for me is The Hangover, the A-Team because he's jacked, but then Limitless he's good in. But there's like, I think after Limitless and A-Team, he just stops working out. And he becomes this... He's a bit flubbery now. And I'm like, what are you doing, bro?
He's done some American Sniper. He got big for American Sniper. But
that's actually good.
In kind of a good way.
I take it back, actually. I shouldn't have said that. He's in some very good movies. But there's somewhere
he's like not a good... He's not a cool character in this at all, is he?
No. He's a politician's son who's running for governor or something.
Isn't he? Oh, yeah, he does later down the line. Yeah. But Place Beyond the Pines is a really good film. And again, you get a couple of these curveballs. And it's weird because you literally have multiple generations of a situation, and there's some really, like, I don't know, I really enjoy that film. Just the pacing's a little bit off. If they
had to get Skippy in the middle,
if they could have tightened up the pacing a little bit, that could be an absolutely amazing film. But it's still worth a watch if you've never seen it.
Because it just bogs down in the middle really heavily.
Yeah. But anyway, it's still worth a watch.
It's on. I think it's on Disney. It's either on Disney or Netflix, one of the two. But yeah, that was a good one. I do like Ryan Gosling. I even watched him in that one where he does singing, and I hate singing movies.
I've not seen it. What's that one? Is it Driver or something?
Oh.
With the pink... I remember it like pink neon writing.
That is good. Yeah, that's a good movie. Yeah, he's really cool in that as well. But he's pretty freaking jacked. And he's consistent.
Yeah,
He's always like that.
he always stays in good shape. I kind of like that with actors when they're like, when you know that it's not just a fad, like that's part of their lifestyle. Like I'm not saying that I don't like people that don't lift, but it is quite nice.
Yeah, but I'm not watching Jared Butler and anything else after 300.
Yeah, it just feels like they take stuff that they take their work really seriously, and they've got an idea of who they want to portray.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Opposed to,
But if you're in clothes, it doesn't matter. You can. All you need to do to make you look less jacked is make you wear a size bigger than you do.
yeah, true, yeah,
That's all you need to. Or to make you look fat, put you in a size down.
yeah.
That's all they used to do for especially a lot of women actresses.
Yeah.
They would
Just change
to make
the
them look
clothes.
fat. They would put them in a size too small.
Yeah.
So it's like pinching in all the wrong areas, and they actually wouldn't have had to do too much. They probably did try and get a bit.
Someone should have told Christian Bale this. It would have saved him a lot of hassle.
See, now Bale's a prime though because you know he's put the freaking work in.
Yeah.
And outside of the work, the only thing that Thor, oh, what a stink bag turd of a movie that thing is. Wow, what's it called? Love and Thunder. I was so looking forward to that pile of steaming hog shit.
Yeah, I'm not seeing
Oh,
it
it's
yet.
so bad. And the worst part is Bale in it looks just like a melted candle because he's just come off a role where he literally had to have no muscle mass.
It's because he's like kind of grey as well.
He's
isn't
all
he?
grey
So
with
he's,
zero muscle definition.
you saying a melted candle, just like literally, the image of him flashed up where he is. He's looking really like gaunt and just grey. I'm just like, I can 100%.
And the
see
dude that he's playing in the comic books is jacked.
Yeah.
Like he looks evil and jacked, but not like over jacked, not Hulk jacked, just lean.
Yeah.
Lean and sinewy, which you would expect like these world conquering beings to look like.
Would if we could get back to American Psycho physique, would that be enough?
Dude, that movie, I watched that again recently. Love it. Do you know that's better if you read the book first?
See, I've tried reading the book a couple of times.
Here's a trick with the book.
Yeah.
I got you. At the beginning of every new chapter, ignore his fashion breakdown
Yeah.
of everyone in the room. The only reason they grill that all the way through is to show you how materialistic he is.
Yeah.
So you can literally skip him describing what everyone's wearing in the first page, every single chapter. It makes no difference.
Yeah, because that's why I lost my. I really wanted to like the book because I loved the film. It's one of my favourites, but it was just it just dragged so much. I was like, I get it, and that's also why it felt like it translated so much better to a film, especially with a great actor like Christian Bale, because he was able to portray all of these things and his analysis of everybody and his judgmentalness with just his expression and the tone and the inflection when he's saying something, and you're just like, you literally got a whole page of description in like a moment while he was doing something else in the film, and I was like, I don't know, it just felt like it dragged out too much, so I gave up on it.
Literally skip that intro when he walks into a room and describes what everyone's wearing. And because I was the same, it was bogging me down. I skipped. It's brilliant. I had to stop reading that book though because it was making me think weird.
Were you starting to become Christian Bale?
It's so descriptive in the way that he like dissects these victims.
Yeah.
Like there's one where he talks about reaching in to one of the victims' mouths and pulling at the vocal cords.
Yeah.
After like drilling a hole through their face because they would refuse to open their mouth. Like it's brutal. And I remember there's one bit he reaches in and I wasn't ready for him to say, and the way it's described of him wrapping his fingers around the vocal cords, it made me go as I was reading it, I was like but then the flip side of it was I got through that and then you start reading it and you're like, he comes up with some ingenious ways of killing people. And I was out on the train, and as well because he's so vain and he's so materialistic, and so he describes like the misfeatures of all his victims. Like he'll break down the fact that a girl's like nose is slightly too narrow for her face or something like that. In the tiniest of details, he'll find them and it describes it in there. So you start to notice these things in people. And there was a woman sat across from me in the train, and she was an average person. So not uggo, not stunning. You know what I mean? Like
just
normal
normal
human.
middle of the road.
But she did have a slightly lower protruding jaw. Like a little bit. Like a lot of people have. Just this little, just a little offset. But she was doing something really annoying. I was trying to read this book across. I'm on a table, she's on the one next to me, and she's doing something annoying and being noisy with something else. I think she was talking on the phone or something like that. And I remember looking over and just going, I'm going to grab that lower protruding jaw of yours and rip it off in a minute. But it was the fact that I went
That's
bang,
really-
lower protruding jaw, picked out the fault, and then had and I'm going to rip it off. And I think I thought something like, and I'm going to rip it until your jawbone breaks and cracks. And then I got halfway through a really descriptive way of pulling a jaw off.
Yeah.
And then went, I need to stop reading this book so much.
Yeah, you literally were turning into Patrick Bateman.
Honest to God, I'm not making that up to make a cool story. On that train, I literally put the book away and stopped reading it for like a couple of days.
Yeah.
I was like, you need a more positive outlook on life again, Lex. This
Need to be Lex for a little bit.
Because it is a dark book, like, and it's very negative in its overall tones. Because he's constantly comparing and trying to undermine people, and and because it is the whole book is a stab at like the plebby world of banking. And all the rah-rahs and everything, and it's a hit at the snobs of society.
Yeah.
Like it's actually a teardown of them.
Disconnection.
Yeah.
And obviously it's a very extreme example of it.
Yeah,
But I think it sometimes does take that like overstatement to like give a bit of insight.
Yeah. So great book though.
What time are we nearly done?
Yeah, we're gonna do. Well, yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it because we were obviously wanted to do the Q&As and stuff like that, but because of Lou's mishaps and stuff like that, and we've come in the middle of the day, we haven't given you guys enough time to put it up because I forgot to put the post up.
Yeah, it's easy done.
Because so busy packing up all of the kit. So the questions have gone up on my Instagram, but you won't know that by now. We've already finished. But you need to keep a check on my Instagram stories for the questions Q&A sections. But you can also leave us comments on YouTube.
Yep.
You can also send us voice messages through the link that you'll see in the bottom of the description, I believe, on Spotify. If you go to the description on Spotify and scroll down, there'll be a link where you can actually leave us a voicemail. And you can use it. It's not easy to find. A couple of people have done it, but we have to describe how to do it every single time.
Yeah.
So and it is basically what it is the people we upload the podcast through, they embed this link in where they upload it to. So it should, in theory, be on the Spotify description at the bottom and the iTunes if they have them, and also Google. There should be a link all there in the description. So have a look. Also, thank you for everybody who's rating us on all of the platforms and leaving comments and stuff. It does. It's really helpful.
Yeah,
Cheers.
comment, liking,
All of that
subscribing,
should bug 'em
rating,
up.
all of the stuff.
Yeah, because
Doing it
we're
all.
going to go and figure out now, if we've got time,
To get the bike
to do the
back.
bike. We've got 2 hours of light left.
Yeah.
And
We
then
might be
by
alright
half
if we-
4 it's getting dim, by 5 it's dark, which I found out yesterday riding back from the Welsh extravaganza. Oh, by the way, when we came out of Wales, blue skies and not even,
It's just
not
Wales.
even a whisper of a breeze.
Yeah, that's just Wales. You get like
Madness.
3 or 4 good days in Wales.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
But I ride in like race black visors, so by the time I got home, but getting home it was 5 p.m. It was pitch black, so it was like riding a computer game because I was just dodging lights. It was kind of surreal, but also kind of like adrenaline rushy. I was like meow 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 meow. Yeah. Don't do that on your first.
No, I was going to say that definitely. I was just thinking, that sounds
Keep the
terrifying.
clear visor on when the winter days. You didn't talk about the test. If you want to hear about, well, no. How was the test? Finish on the test.
All right. Well, yeah, it was good.
And that's all we got time for this week, folks. So we will let us know what you want to hear about. Leave comments, rate us where you can, stars and all that good jazz. It really does help. And as always, leave behind in the week all that was bad and bring forward that 'twas good. And utilise that. I'm starting my cold plunges on Monday, so I'll let you know how that goes on the next episode as well.
Micro penis incoming.
You sniffed the barrel, didn't you?
I stiffed the barrel,
You sniffed
yeah.
my barrel, and what did it smell like?
It smelled like whiskey.
It actually smells like whiskey.
Yeah.
So I kind of don't want to blast it out and clean it.
Cold plunging whiskey?
Cold plunging whiskey. There
Yeah.
you go. Right. Catch you next one.
Toodle
Toodle
pip.
pip.